This lesson covers water filtration basics. Support for the development of this lesson has been provided by the National Science Foundation through the Ohio University Vote of Knowledge in the Science Classroom program. What makes water safe for drinking? Have you ever thought about where our drinking water comes from? Make a guess about some sources that you think might be used for drinking water. If you know your water supplier, look up the source of the drinking water. Most drinking water comes from a reservoir, river, or groundwater, but we know that we can't just drink the water directly from a lake or river. So what do you think the water must go through in order to become clean enough to drink? The water must be purified, but how? What are some methods of purifying water? Let's look at some labels from purified water bottles. How was the water purified? We find reverse osmosis, distillation, and filtration. We'll focus on the filtration method, since this is one of the basic steps in municipal water treatment. Does anyone know what happens during the process of filtration? Filtration is a process used to separate non-settleable solids from water and wastewater by passing it through a porous medium. This image shows us an example of a filter medium, sand. As the water passes through the sand, suspended particles called flock remain at the surface because they are too large to pass between the grains of sand. Filtration depends on two main steps: transport attachment and detachment-reattachment. First, particles are transported to the vicinity of the sand grains. Then the particles attach themselves to the sand grains. After attachment, the particles detach, move deeper down into the filter, and reattach. Sand filters were the first type of filters to be used. A diagram of a sand filter is shown on the right. Sand filters apply four mechanisms for removing particles: sieving, sedimentation, flocculation, and adsorption. These filters can remove suspended solids and even organisms like protozoa and bacteria. These unwanted particles and organisms remain on the surface of the filter, forming a dirty layer called the Schmutzdecke. What do you think might be a problem with using sand filters? The biggest problem occurs as a result of backwashing. Backwashing is used to clean the filter by running water from the bottom to the top to remove the impurities from between the filter media particles. During backwashing, reverse gradation happens, which means that particles in the gravel and sand layers get mixed together and sometimes end up in the wrong order. Reverse gradation shortens the life of the filter. Coal sand filters are used to reduce the effect of reverse gradation. The coal layer is placed on top of the sand layer, as shown in the diagram on the right. This type of filter is very common in water treatment facilities. Apart from filtration in water treatment plants, rain gardens are another example of a filtration application. Has anyone heard of a rain garden? What do you think it's used for? What is a rain garden? Rain gardens apply filtration concepts to remove contaminants from urban runoff. What makes a rain garden different from a regular garden? Rain gardens are depressed areas that collect runoff, usually from parking lots or roads. Rain gardens apply the concepts of infiltration, percolation, and transpiration to remove pollutants, all of which are natural processes that occur as part of the hydrologic cycle. A good rain garden should retain the water to increase pollutant removal and decrease urban flooding impacts of runoff. What do you think might be some benefits of rain gardens? Because of the longer retention times, not only is the potential for urban flooding reduced, but stream erosion is also prevented. We already know that the primary purpose of rain gardens is to remove contaminants, but they also replenish groundwater while being aesthetically pleasing and eco-friendly. Rain gardens are typically filled with native plants that will attract birds, butterflies, and other pollinating insects. Complete the following activities that are included with this lesson to learn more about rain gardens and filtration systems.